I hate to see you cry, I should've bought you flowers. Now I'm alone, I should've stayed another hour. It's hard to breathe, someone send me help.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Chris. Welcome back to yet another episode of Chris's Closet. We got a really good one in store for you today. So make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you gotta do. I don't care, send it to your friend, let them view it. It is what it is. Just want to let you guys know I am 100% thankful for all the support that y'all have given me in the past 7 or 8 days of me doing this. It's really awesome just to hear from you guys, and I know a lot of you messaged me saying that some of the stuff I said in the toxic relationship video helped and the one in the addiction video helped. I'm just really grateful to hear that stuff. That's kind of why I do this, is just, you know, so I can put my experiences out there for you, and maybe you guys can find some way to implement it in your own life to help or not. But anyways, today guys, let's get on with the video. And to start, I just want to say this video is completely and utterly subjective to me and my personal experiences only. I just have high hopes that this could potentially educate someone or clear up some common misconceptions or questions that any viewer might be exposed to or have. I'm not saying weed is good or bad, none of that, but I am just letting you know what it was like for me to get off the stuff, and you know how long my run lasted and how it was for me, you know, good, bad, everything in between. This is for informational purposes only. I'm making this video for you, your friends, loved ones, as an example that sobriety is possible. So yeah, let's get into it. Marijuana is a very big part of our culture these days, from it being a economy booster in some states to it being something that everyone has in every music video and something everybody talks about. Regardless, people from all over the world are kind of gravitating towards the marijuana movement. But what's it actually like to smoke and go through the process of having to get off? Well, today guys, I'm going to break down that a little bit for you. This is going to be video 1 of a 5 or 6 video series of different drugs I've experienced. And as you know, I'm sober now, and I want to give you guys back some information that has helped me, and a big retrospect of my life and some of the stuff that I have been through involving these substances. Like I said, this is not for any promotional use or for serving for any inspirational purposes for the youth or anybody who is curious about substances. Is there such thing as weed addiction? So weed was the first substance I had used. I was 17 at the time, and I had always had sort of an interest in something that could put me in an altered state of mind or make me feel a certain type of way. And honestly, at that age, I was just wanting to experiment, and I was so damn curious that I couldn't help myself. And of course, listening to as much Mac Miller as I was, and as much Wiz Khalifa as I was, and Juicy J for a little bit, trash, soon to say it was bound to happen sometime. As I got to about my junior year in high school, a lot of my friends started to do it, so I was like, let me give it a try, right? What's the worst that can happen? Me and a group of friends after school one day, we decided, hey, let's grab a Pepsi can, poke some holes in it, and throw some weed in there and try to light it and inhale it. Honestly, didn't feel shit. I was like, shit doesn't work. I got the big head, you know. Oh, my tolerance is so high. Ain't nothing going with me. Right? Didn't feel shit the first time I did it. And I know a lot of people do have this experience as well. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it was decent stuff. It wasn't like some Reggie or some mid. Like, that day didn't work. So I was like, man. So I went back to school the next day. And one of my boys, we'll call him DJ. So me and DJ, we were talking one day after class, and he was like, man, look, my brother has some really good stuff at the house. If you want to, you and me and such can go over there after school, and we can get it rolling, we can get it popping. So I was like, shit, all right. I got there, and he had literally everything. I mean, this dude was a smoker. I took my first bong rip. Oh my God. That first bong rip was intense, my dude. The first 30 minutes I was fine, it was cool. I was just in such a state in my mind, I couldn't believe like the feeling I was having, and the intensity just went up up, and it kept going. It didn't stop. It got to a point where I was so anxious and I couldn't really enjoy it. After about an hour, hour and a half, I chilled out, but I'll never forget. And a lot of different substances will give you this feeling when you do something, like if you're eating a bowl of cereal or folding clothes or whatever have you get this sensation that I like to refer to as memory tracers. It feels like you're doing it literally a million times, and it's just you're repeating the same action over and over again. Like if you were to eat that bowl of cereal, it'll feel like it took you 2 hours to eat it. Memory tracers. Good sensation. I really don't know how to put on it. But anywho, through this one thing, from that point it was like twice a week to like every day, and then it got to multiple times a day. In that, I built a lot of connections. I made a lot of friends. My music taste was really broad, and I started listening to stuff I never thought I would listen to, and I kind of became a weed advocate. Like, I love marijuana. I was always that guy trying to be like, hey, it's natural, it's good stuff. And I was trying to convince people who weren't on board to get their ass on the board. For 2 years, it gave me pretty good sleeping habits. It gave me good eating habits. It regulated things. I liked going to the gym high. I liked going and doing activities high. And that would last for a while until your tolerance gets to a place where you can smoke a gram or two a day and it really wouldn't fuck with you. Whenever my tolerance got out of hand for me personally, that's when I started experiencing problems. So I went on and my body started becoming more adjusted to wanting and having the need for the THC chemical. Then I became more unmotivated and a lot more comfortable with just, sitting around a lot of the day and just kind of coasting through the motions of life and just, living a very basic and comfortable lifestyle. It was very numbing. I couldn't feel any intense emotions either way. It's like it shrunk my emotional pendulum to where I would kind of only be in a specific range of how sad or how excited I could get about something. And it was really something that damaged a lot of the relationships in my life, because I can never experience truly how I wanted to emotionally towards this person or put my whole engagement into this activity. So with that, it just kind of gave me this sense of, meh, it is what it is. But that was, as my body started building a major tolerance to it. Now, I know there's a lot of people out here who love it, get very motivated to do things, function normally, and they are a lot more creative with the substance. It was not how it went for me. I was just very, whatever, didn't really care. This is when it transitioned into something I deem as unhealthy. I would spend way too much time and way too much money on trying to figure out, where I was going to get it and how far I'd have to drive and what time this guy got off work and where this person was going to be and when's homeboy pulling up. Like, it got way too much of an unhealthy routine, and it became this ritual of something I would do in the morning and before I went to bed, regardless, no matter what. So yeah, along with the time and the money, the days I couldn't get it, I was super anxious and super on edge, and I was very irritable. Like, I was just not pleasant to be around, and without it I really couldn't function like a normal human being. I literally needed it to function normally, and those nights I did have to go without it, or those days where I was going to do something with somebody and couldn't have access to it, crippling anxiety, mega stress, just was an overall unpleasant situation. It was more mental than physical. From someone who's experienced both kinds of withdrawals, it was definitely more on the mental side than it was the physical side. It never occurred to me that this might have some repercussions until I actually had to try and quit. There was a situation that came up that I had to stop. When I tried to quit, you never realize how addicted you are to something until you try to stop it. And that's the truth. It got to a point where I remember that last little bit. And I was about 21 at this time, so I had been smoking for about 4 years. I was about 21, and knowing that I had to quit and literally going through all my old bowls and pipes and stuff and scraping the resin out and trying to smoke off of that, disgusting. Just doing that to feel something to get you through the night. So when I did go cold turkey, didn't have anything left, it was about 2 weeks. Could not sleep, could not eat. I mean, was in the bed. I remember trying to go to work and just being absolutely miserable. Just calling out, saying I had to go do something when I really didn't, just because I did not want to be there. Although there is no strong evidence that should suggest that there are any withdrawals or that it is an addictive substance, being completely subjective to me, in my experience, these withdrawals were pretty bad. It legitimately took 2 weeks or so for my body to get in a normal rhythm, to get in its normal balance of homeostasis, for me to really get to where I needed to be so I could wake up and eat something or drink something throughout the day, or, get just a couple hours of sleep. So after about that 3rd week, when my body finally started to get back into normal rhythm, I felt so much more motivated and willing to do stuff, and physical activities, walking outside or going to exercise just became something that I had to do. It wasn't necessarily fun like it was when I was getting high, but it was something I had to do when I stopped smoking. So you start eating more, you gain a little bit more weight, and this is, my experience. Like I said, you just overall become so much more motivated to do things and get stuff completed for yourself, for other people. It was really good, an eye-opening experience that I didn't realize how deep I was into my addiction with marijuana, and pretty much just sober. Hadn't felt this way in 4 years. And honestly, all the mental barriers and mental chains that I was in, having to wake up and make it like the first thing I did in the morning and the last thing I did at night, I was free of that now. So I could do literally whatever I want. Now, I've seen people that do not have these symptoms, and I've seen people that have a lot worse than what I had. So it kind of fluctuates. And honestly, you won't really know until you try and quit, or that someone tries to quit. But I really can't say anything bad about it. It's not proven to be detrimental to your health. A lot of people are very high functioning smokers that, that's what they do. Like, they can actually function a little bit better with it. But was I one of those people? Probably not. And you're not going to realize it until you stop. That's when you can make the honest comparison and say that it may be better for you, or it may not be better for you. That's pretty much in a gist my experience with weed. This is part 1 of a 5 or 6 video series. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you might find it in your heart to share this with somebody who may be trying to steer away from that, or maybe someone who just needs some more perspective on it. I'm not swinging either one way or the other. This is completely subjective to me and my experiences, so just keep that in mind. This is for educational and informational purposes only. Guys, we'll see you next time. It's been another good episode of Chris's Closet. Peace.
Real easy like a free throw. The way you let me go, I guess we'll never know. 3 nights, no sleep though. I'm on the Addy pills, I don't know what I feel. I'm on the next flight out to come see you. Why we always gotta fight, girl, I need you.